on.
All right, so we also went over some strength exercises for the hips. Let's visit those again now as well. So the first one was our hip diagonal. So we're turning the foot out. The hips are staying square, but we're turning the foot out. We're squeezing the leg backwards, and we're trying to feel this pocket right in here fill up. We want that tension right in that area. And then we're returning, and we're bringing it back. We talked about for strength, we want to go a little slower, really focus on control. Pelvic position always comes into play still. We're going to do this for 8 to 12 reps per side. And we also said this is something where we're going to do this optimally 3 times per week. And we're going to do maybe a max of a minimum of 1, a maximum of 3 sets, depending upon how much you want to get into this, okay? But we definitely want to get at least that 1 set 3 times a week. So there's our diagonal. Then we talked about our inner thigh. So inner thigh, we're holding onto the chair or balancing. We're squeezing the leg across the body. This is the one where we talked about the hip too, right? So we don't want to squeeze and drop the hip. We want to keep alignment as we're squeezing across, feeling that inner thigh activate. And just as with the first one, we're going to do this for 8 to 12 reps in a controlled manner for 1 to 3 sets 3 times a week. Let's get that other side just a little bit here. So keeping that alignment, squeeze and return. Really get a good contraction every single time. Excellent. Let's just get one more for the sake of it while we're on camera here. Don't fall like I just did. Keep that masterful balance. And release. Good. Now, next one. Oh yeah, it was our hinge. We had a lot of conversation with this one. It's kind of tricky. So, to revisit, we talked about either placing your hands on your shoulders to get into the hip hinge position first. Remember, we don't want to round the back. We also don't want to overarch the back. We want to find that control in the pelvis as we're hinging. So, given that, we can either go here. Nancy, if you're watching, this hurt. So we're going to put your arms down here, just like so. Either way, whichever one you decide, get into your hip hinge with pelvic control. And then from there, flex your toes towards your knee. Raise your legs straight up. Hold 3 to 5 seconds, back down. And we're going to repeat that for 8 to 12 reps. You were getting tired, so we also talked about going from your hip hinge, doing maybe 1 rep, and then just standing up and resetting yourself every time if that's too much to stay down there consecutively. And then of course we would do the other side. So same thing, get into that hip hinge, flex the toes, and raise that leg. We want to keep the hips. You don't want to fall over. I'm showing you what not to do just as much as what to do. So we want to flex the toes toward the knee. We want to raise that leg. What I was going to say is we want to make sure the hips are also in alignment while we're doing this. I did not really talk about that today, but that's another important piece. So, as before, 8 to 12 reps per side, 1 to 3 sets, 3 times a week. Next one was our fancy bridge. So we're here, we have our hands on the chair, you're getting off the chair, you're tucking your pelvis, maintaining your tuck as you bridge yourself upward. Good squeeze on the glutes. Maintain the control as you lower yourself back down, and then release and reset. 8 to 12 reps on that one as well. 1 to 3 sets, 3 times a week. If you don't find benefit with that, this is the one that I didn't do because the ground was muddy. We can lie down, get that tuck to the pelvis, head rested, squeeze the glutes, drive the hips up without arching the back. Maintain control as you lower yourself back down and release. And we would do that 8 to 12 reps, 1 to 3 sets, 3 times a week. Last one was everybody's favorite. I can hear you all cheering already as I'm revisiting our experience today, and that was our squat. And again, 8 to 12 reps, 1 to 3 sets, 3 times a week. The key with this squat, as we talked about, knee position. As you're sitting down, lead the way with your hip hinge. Sit from there. We don't want the knees popping forward. We also don't want them collapsing inward. We want to keep that outward alignment. Knees kind of lined up at the middle of the foot. And with my shoes, with the shoelaces pretty well, with the end of the shoelace is a good launch point. So hip hinge, sit, 8 to 12 reps, 1 to 3 sets, 3 times a week. If you have any questions, go to our website, www.bodybasics.biz. Give me your questions, and I'm happy to help you out. Have a great day.